Hello, everyone. God bless you all. Hope you're all doing well. What are squatters' rights? If you've ever hosted a social gathering, you might be familiar with the phenomenon of the guest who wouldn't leave. Such a guest overstays their welcome and becomes a source of annoyance. Now imagine how frustrating it would be to have someone come onto your property uninvited, and then they decide to live there. Unfortunately, it's something that happens from time to time. It's called squatting. Key takeaways: squatters' rights. Squatters' rights are adverse possession. Refer to the rights a squatter may gain if they occupy a property for a certain period without the owner taking legal action against them. The time frame for establishing squatters' rights varies by state, ranging from 7 years to over 20 years. Squatting is a form of trespassing, but involves the intention of claiming ownership or permanent residency. Property owners must follow a legal eviction process. I don't understand that. To remove squatters. You got someone trespassing, typically beginning with a call to a local law enforcement and filing an unlawful detainer action. In some cases, squatters may pay property taxes to strengthen their adverse possession claim, but owners should continue paying their taxes as well. Property owners and landlords should familiarize themselves with squatters' rights and consult an attorney when necessary to ensure proper handling of such situations. Which states have squatters' rights? Most states have laws regarding squatters' rights. It just depends on how long the squatter has been occupying the property. Here's a table showing how long it takes for squatters' rights to be established in each state. It's got 20 plus years, those are the states. 15 to 20 years, those are the states. 10 years, those are the states. 7 years or less, those are the states. History of squatting. Let's see how long this is going to be. That's pretty lengthy. I'll do a little bit of it in this video. Maybe be a two-parter. In the days of the Wild West, ranch owners could deal with errant squatters by riding out in a posse and chasing the squatters off their land. Obviously, a lot has changed since the days of stagecoaches and gold rushes, because nearly every state has laws stating a landlord cannot use force or the threat of force to disperse squatters from their property. Instead, they must file the proper paperwork and work through legal channels. Unbelievable. The idea of squatting goes back to medieval England and is common law. The king's courts would routinely rule in favor of individuals who occupied a property without permission, providing the owner did not take action against them within a certain statute of limitations. Back in those days, squatter conflict routinely come into play when peasants seeking escape from the tax burden of their current location would move into the country and build a house on the land, acquiring the property by assumption, a common practice at the time. Ancient Welsh folk tradition states that if a person can build a home on common land in one night, it would belong to them free and clear. Unbelievable. This is known as the one-night house. The other variants of the belief specify that a squatter would need to have a fire burning in the hearth by morning, whereupon they could extend the boundaries of their newly acquired property by throwing an axe as far as possible from all four corners of the home. This is crazy. Thankfully, in the United States, such practices are no longer applicable. State legislators have created a more concrete set of rules regarding squatting. However, if an individual unlawfully takes possession of a property and occupies it consistently for a certain period of time, they may actually establish a stronger claim to the property than the actual owner. That is unbelievable. Though it sounds bizarre, squatting is quite common and a popular tool used by ill-intentioned individuals to take possession of abandoned properties. What is a squatter? A squatter is anyone who begins to inhabit a piece of property or land without the legal right to do so. In other words, they are not renting the property from the owner, where landlord-tenant law comes into play, and they do not have permission to use it. You might think an unauthorized occupant would be easy to eject from a residential property or vacant retail property. It should be, yeah, especially when there is no lease agreement to contend with. But an unauthorized tenant or adverse possessor, as they are called in the legal world, has the right to go through an eviction process. That's unbelievable. They're trespassing. The rightful owner of the property must act within a certain statutory period outlined above, state by state, before the adverse possession law in their state gives legal title to the squatter who has taken possession of the real property. It seems like a nightmare come true, but it's a perfect example of why real estate should never be considered a completely passive income. It's important to check up on real property, especially vacant property, and make sure that nothing will impede on your valid and legal claims to it. Unbelievable.